they get blood from somebody with AIDS,
yeah,
and then they shoot you with it.
Oh,
so
well, that seems bad.
That's a slow death.
Yeah.
An Eazy-E thing, you know what I mean?
You think King Von was scary? Wait till you hear some of the things Suge Knight has done to other rappers. Many even call him the devil. Many knew him as the big bad bully of the rap game who was involved in all sorts of gang crimes, from murder to assault, you name it. With the number of years he's currently facing in prison, I don't think you need anyone to tell you how dangerous he truly is. Keep watching till the end of this video to see Suge Knight admits killing Eazy-E. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Suge Knight and Eazy-E's history. You see, Suge Knight and Eazy-E never had any love for each other. It was always a messy situation when both rappers got involved with each other's business. Back in the day, Eazy-E was known as the godfather of West Coast gangster rap. He was signed to the record label NWA, which was the most dangerous rap group then. Well, at least before Suge Knight's Death Row Records. NWA was considered the most influential rap group, as it had Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and MC Ren, who were all known as the OGs of rap. No one could stand a chance against the label, and Suge Knight was very jealous of that. From a very young age, Suge Knight already had the violent gene in his DNA. Violence was the only way he knew how to get what he wanted. He was the type of person you could walk up to and have a conversation with. I mean, he made someone drink pee. What does that tell you? Suge Knight wanted what Eazy-E had. He wanted to have a record label that was as scary and ruthless as that of Eazy-E, and most importantly, he wanted to sign Dr. Dre, because during that period, he was the real deal. Suge was just a notorious gangster who didn't have anything to his name at the time. Coming at Eazy-E at the time was suicide, because he was very close with some mafia gangs and could move in and out of the hood without getting checked. As notorious as Suge was, I'm sure he didn't want to end up 6 feet under the ground. Suge Knight and Eazy-E's beef. Their hatred for each other started when NWA started to split up. Dr. Dre sent Suge to check out Eazy-E's finances because he thought NWA's manager, Jerry Heller, was only taking care of Eazy-E and leaving everyone else in the crew hanging. I mean, everyone's got to eat, and it just didn't seem fair. At the time, Suge had already formed his record label, Death Row Records, but needed to sign rappers who would make the label famous, and this was a perfect opportunity. Suge rolled up on Eazy-E at a recording studio and pressed him about the contract. At first, Eazy-E refused to give in. Then Suge went on to say he had already kidnapped Jerry Heller and was holding him in a van. Eazy-E, being the ruthless man that he was, remained a brick that wasn't going to be moved. I'm pretty sure you know what comes next. Suge and his goons gave Eazy-E an ass whooping he was definitely going to remember all of his life. To make it even worse, Suge pulled out a piece of paper showing where Eazy-E's mom lived and said, "I know where your mama stays." At this point, the rapper, who was an unbreakable brick, had no choice but to break. Dr. Dre and Suge went on to create Death Row Records, which became the most powerful record label in rap history, with Snoop Dogg and Tupac signed to it. I'm sure you get why they called him the devil back in the day. But Eazy-E wasn't just going to let all that go down the drain. He was going to come for everyone on Death Row Records, and he made that clear. In an interview with UGS Radios, Eazy-E said, "At that point, I figured either I'd sign the papers, get my kick, or fight them." He was so pissed that he was willing to go to any length to get his revenge. Heller talked him out of killing Suge and told him to let it all go and focus on having a solo career. Even though Eazy-E signed the contracts, he wasn't scared of coming at Suge. Eazy-E's death. It all took a different turn when Eazy-E was hospitalized, suffering from a terrible cough. He had not been well in the weeks before this, and he presumed he had asthma, as it ran in the family. But he instead was diagnosed with HIV/AIDS. He released a public statement to his fans, asking them to practice caution and understand that AIDS could attack anyone. The statement was read by his friend and attorney, Ron Sweeney. By that time, the rap artist was in critical condition at Cedars-Sinai ICU. Eazy-E's condition deteriorated at a shocking speed. "Now, I'm in the biggest fight of my life, and it ain't easy," the statement continued. "But I want to say much love to those who have been down with me, and thanks for all of your support. Remember, it's your real time and your real life. 2 days before his public announcement, he married his longtime girlfriend, Tamika Woods, in a private ceremony at the hospital. They had been in a relationship 4 years. On March 26, 1995, just a month after his diagnosis, Eazy-E succumbed to the illness. A sad ending for the godfather of rap, dying at the age of 30. Suge Knight admits killing Eazy-E. Nobody understood how he could die so quickly without exhibiting any signs or symptoms. Even his kids and baby mamas tested negative for AIDS. So how on earth was it even possible? No one knew what really went wrong or how it happened so quickly. The rumors going around that period were largely based on beliefs that Eazy-E didn't just die of AIDS. He was targeted and murdered by rappers who didn't want him anymore in the game. And I'm sure we know which rapper they meant. One of the rappers who was signed to Ruthless Records, Frost, said his thoughts in an interview, explaining how Eazy-E couldn't have just died of AIDS. He said, "Eazy got hurt riding ATVs and somebody stuck him with a tainted needle and he went to get acupuncture." He continued, "I don't want to say that name because it's the devil's name, but you know, another person in rap. If you know your rap history, calls him the devil, so you know who I'm saying." We all know who the devil is. Suge wore the name like armor. On the Jimmy Kimmel Live show in 2003, Suge Knight did one of the most shocking interviews in rap history. On the show, Suge said, "This new thing, right? So if somebody gonna do something to somebody, technology is so high, right? So if you shoot somebody, you go to jail forever. Kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right? So they got this new thing out. People sell them all the time. They get this stuff they get blood from somebody with AIDS, and then they shoot you with it. That's the slow death." Young Eazy, the son of Eazy-E, shared an Instagram post of a now infamous interview Suge had on Jimmy Kimmel Live. In the caption of the photo he posted, he wrote, "I've been known my pops was killed. His death never added up to what people have always said. Maybe they think we're idiots, blind to the truth, I don't know. But for you new fans, youngsters, and people who just don't know much, notice on #StraightOuttaCompton, Eazy did not get sick until after the studio incident with Suge. And look how he acknowledged and admits on this interview with #JimmyKimmel, injecting people instead of shooting them is a new thing. That's done. The truth is out there. It's just blinded by the fact that Eric had a lot of." The real question that sits on everyone's mind is if Suge really killed Eazy-E, or if he really died from his disease. That's the end of today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content. Thanks.